Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It is Rebecca Reacts. I am Rebecca and today I'm going to be reacting to a video that was requested. It's my first video that has been requested, so I'm really excited and I hope I do this video justice. And it is from, the video is called The Understated Wisdom of Sushant Singh Rajput, who of course very sadly passed away earlier this year. Very sad news, I think we were all shocked by it. And so this is him giving a speech to a group of students in 2016, and this was requested, and yeah, I'm really interested to see what he says. And of course my thoughts are with his family and friends and anyone affected by his death.
So excuse me if I falter, excuse me if I don't make sense, excuse me if I get a panic attack right now. No. But I'll try my best.
We love you anyway! We do.
That was a lovely introduction, thank you so much for that. I had this habit of carrying shits in colleges, so... I became an actor because I had a problem. I was an introvert. You know, I'm the youngest of my family. And I was so pampered in my house that when I used to step out, I didn't know how to deal with people.
Same.
I gradually became this very shy, introvert kid who could not talk. Well, I still cannot talk.
Same.
And I have this stage fright.
Same.
So what I do generally as an actor is I hide behind all these fascinating characters.
I completely understand what it means.
But like right now, as I'm not acting,
yeah,
so
it's so different to acting as a character and being yourself.
So excuse me if I falter, excuse me if I don't make sense, excuse me if I get a panic attack right now. But I'll try my best.
We love you anyway!
Alright, I would love to share my journey with you, my learnings, and in case you decide to drop out and join me in Bollywood, it will come very handy. So, I was thinking in the car, what do I talk about? What can I tell you that you already don't know? I'm assuming, and I think most probably, you guys are way much more smarter and better than what I was when I was your age. But after deep thinking, I zeroed down into two things that I can actually discuss about. These two things talk about chasing your dreams and actually living your dreams, which unfortunately nobody mentioned to me when I was starting out. And those two things are, can I write down? Can you see this board? I always wanted to do this in front of professors.
Has he written? I can't really see what it says.
So those two things are the biggest lie and the only truth about success that I was told about. Now the biggest lie was money plus recognition is equal to happiness, is equal to success.
No, that's not true.
So let me begin by mentioning that I come from a very middle class family. And when I was growing up, money was a big differentiator in my life. Also in the three generations of my family that I know of that are documented, nobody knew what fame felt like.
Okay,
so
wow.
basically, both money and recognition were missing when I started out. So I already started out as a failure. Let me be very precise. My family told me that I had to become an engineer. Medicals were booked for my sisters. So once I'm an engineer, then I can, try civil services examination, and then probably, that will be like opening the doors for all kind of happiness, and I'll be forever successful. I'll be forever happy. This is the conditioning that I experienced while I was growing up. All right, fair enough. Good deal. So I became very good in studies. Did fairly well in my 10th board exams. And then off I went to Delhi for my +2, got myself enrolled in a nice school, and Vidyamandir and Fiji, and half a dozen of other coaching institutes. And I used to share my room with 3 other similar aspirants. What it meant was, every day after finishing my assignments, school assignments, and preparing for my engineering entrance exam, I had to wash my clothes and I had to cook food for myself. But I wasn't complaining. Well, it was worth it.
Such a lovely, genuine person.
For the very first time in my life, I was so close to become successful for the first time in my life. So yeah, finally I slogged, I got selected for several engineering colleges.
Wow.
And I decided to take admission in Delhi College of Engineering, which is now known as DTU. Thank you. Were you my senior or junior? There was a celebration like this in my family too. I could finally stop for a while and breathe, you know. I was telling myself that, you know what, now you're made it. You should be happy because you're supposed to be happy. But it wasn't working that much. Something was missing. There was a void that I could feel. So I thought maybe something bigger was required. For some reason, incessantly, while the first 18, 19 years of my life, the future me was much happier, much successful than the present me. So I was like, alright, fine. So I was forcing myself. I promised, as I promised, I started preparing for civil services examination, and I was forcing myself to slog, but I was bored. UPSC exams were still far away. In the meantime, I thought of doing theatre, and I thought to learn dance because to counter the shyness that I had.
Yeah.
And also
I completely get what you mean.
Engineering college for some reason. I cheated, man. We slog so much.
I used to do acting, and I was so quiet, but when I was acting as a character, I really came out of my shell.
Good-looking girls in dance schools. So I was like, fine, I go there. And once I started with performing arts, I knew one thing for sure. I knew that I quite liked it.
Same.
And 3 years later, imagine me sitting in the campus, and I'm thinking, alright, I'm very interested in performing arts. And all I want to do is to earn money and to be recognized. So if I become a movie star, I actually was very serious and I dropped out. Oh my gosh. In the 2 year, when I was just 2 semesters away from getting the degree.
No way, that's crazy.
Came to Mumbai, got heavily into theatre and also the skills that I thought were necessary to become an actor. And by the way, this time I stayed with 6 other guys in a single room kitchen, but this time I was prepared for it. This time there was one difference. I was driven. My self-respect was at stake. My ex-college mates, one of them is sitting right here in my shirt, they thought that I was that disaster that folks in engineering and B schools should never become. So I had to prove a point to everybody. I had to prove a point to my family. Most importantly, I had to prove a point to myself. And this was the time when I was also a background dancer. So I was dancing.
He's very talented, isn't he?
All the possible stars that you can think of, Shah Rukh Khan, Shahid Kapoor, everybody. And I was thinking to myself while I was performing, okay, it's just 3 steps away, there I have to get. And everything will be sorted. And I kept going like that. And 2 years later, guess what? I got myself my first big break.
Well done.
I was selected for a primetime show on a TV. Now hear me out, it was seriously a big break because I started earning. People started recognizing me.
Wow.
To be honest, I would deliberately go and roam in all these malls so that people would look at me, smile, ask me for it.
That's so funny, as if he admitted to that. That's brilliant.
And I was watching myself on TV for the first time. You have no idea how it feels for somebody like me to, I was looking at me and I was looking at myself every day on TV. It was a big, big, big high. I also suddenly discovered that I actually had many friends. I'm like, who absent all this while, but suddenly they popped up. And the show became popular.
They definitely pop up when you get famous.
To the point that money stopped being a differentiator in my life. And I was becoming more and more popular. Now I cannot go to all those malls that I was going all alone. So I wanted somebody to be with me, to save me. I bought myself my first dream house. I bought myself my dream car. And just a note to you as well. I was getting such female attention that my engineering college friends could only possibly dream of.
I love that he's being serious but adding in these kind of funny elements as well.
I was having a time of my life. And then something unusual happened. I got used to everything. And I felt cheated. I stayed with all these dreams for 10 and 15 years of my life. I was promised happiness and I was promised success. But all these things stayed with me just for a few days. And I'm punctuating me because I started from zero money and zero recognition. So I was not happy. How can that be? I didn't like this version of success. And the future me again was luring the present me. But this time, I decided otherwise. I would do something else. So that gets us to the second point, which is the only truth. I won't take too much time. I'll just try to keep it short. I figured something. I figured that something seemingly big things were not that big once I got them. And looking back in the past, I realized that maybe smaller things were way bigger. And there was one thing that was missing in my life that was the cause of this illusion. And that thing that was missing was now. I was, all these years, I was obsessed about what's
thinking ahead, and he wasn't living in the present.
That we are talking soon. If this happens, I'll do that, and 6 months from now, I'll be here. So I wanted to be in control. I was so obsessed about my future. I was taking the entire responsibility about the past. But all I was doing was frequently swinging from past to future, not living in actual sense. Well, I also figured that when I perform on stage or in front of camera, I'm so much excited. I'm so much interested. I was paying so much attention that there was no room to think about future or the past. I was just there.
This is making me sad because it's making me think about what happened to him, and maybe what he's talking about now is kind of some of the reasons behind for what he did.
For the first time, trust me, in a long time, I understood the true meaning of success, which was not money plus recognition, but it was now plus excitement. This realization happened in 2011, and it has been 5 years. Now let me share another very short story with you. When I was in school, 4 to 5:30 p.m. was the time when I was allowed to go out and play. I was asked to be an engineer, but the entire day I used to wait for 4 p.m. to happen. I would step out, and the next 1.5 hours felt like 5 minutes. I didn't understand this then, but now very honestly, very confidently, I can tell you this, that I'm living that 4 to 5:30
He's
life.
speaking so much wisdom and
right
so
now.
much truth. We need to live in the present, in the here, in the now, because otherwise we're just not gonna remember this moment, even if I am filming it
Cause
for
and
you.
effects are not different. Excitement is the cause, excitement is the effect. I get tired again and again because all these success mantras that we talk about, you know, hard work, belief, focus, vision, risk taking, talent, perseverance, you can go on and on. But all these success mantras are now the side effects of the process itself. I'm so engaged, it commands my attention so much that there is nothing else that I can think about. So hard work doesn't feels like hard work, and there's nothing else that you can do but to persist. Talent you will cultivate, vision you will get, focus there is no other way because it's commanding your attention so much. So here I am right now, 5 years down the line, money and fame, although still could not earn back their reputation in my life. But let me show you one thing, I have much more of them than I had ever planned. And
Wow.
the best thing, my college, one of the professors was very dear to me, called me recently about asking me to plan this interaction with students, and I very humbly requested that can I get my degree back. And it's happening, and I'm very excited again. Thank you so much.
Wow, that was so lovely. Oh my goodness. You know, just what he was saying about we need to live in the present and remember what we're doing now, because it's the excitement that we have now that we don't have when we think about the future. I mean, he says it a lot better than I can say it, but what he's saying, he has so much wisdom and so much truth that it's really sad what happened to him. And, you know, he was talking about how when he was younger, he thought to be successful and happy, you needed to be famous and have money. And to hear him speak about some of these things that he did really makes me think about potentially, obviously I don't know, but potentially some of the reasons why he very sadly did what he did earlier this year. And I've read numerous comments from people being like, Bollywood killed him, they didn't care for him, you know, he did what he did because the industry is just awful. And I think it is definitely partly true, and it drove him to that conclusion, which is so sad, and it still makes me very sad thinking about it. But then when we've got videos of him talking about how much he lives in the present and doesn't think about the future, I assume he wasn't thinking about his future when he decided to do what he did. And we all miss him so dearly. Oh my gosh, we do. You know, he's incredibly talented. He talked about how he started off as an engineer and he was like 2 semesters away from like graduating and getting his degree, which is incredible. Like, that's crazy to there and then decide you don't want to get your degree and pursue something you love doing. And I very much can relate to what he was saying at the very beginning about how when you're performing as an actor, you're playing a character and you don't have to be yourself, and it is very different from doing what he's doing and being on stage and giving a speech, and it feels completely differently. I know exactly what that's like. I used to do some acting when I was younger, and I was very quiet and I hated public speaking. I remember at school sometimes we would have to get up and do presentations or read out loud in class, and I absolutely hated it because it was just me standing there reading and speaking, and I hated it. And he was like, I'm sorry if I have any panic attacks, and that was me when I was at school. I would get so anxious and so nervous, but then when I was on stage playing a character and I could hide behind the performance, it's so much easier. And yeah, I felt like I could really relate to what he was saying there. It also made, I loved that, I said this during the video, but I loved that he, you know, was speaking about quite a serious topic, but he kind of included some little funny anecdotes about like the girls, how if he stayed with the engineering course he wouldn't have got any girls, and because he got rich and famous loads of girls gave him attention, which was really nice to kind of have that contrasting conversation in the speech. But that was beautiful, and he is very, very missed in the world. So yeah, thank you to the person who requested that I react to this video. If you have any other videos you want me to react to, please leave the links to them in the comments below, preferably in English, or at least have English subtitles, because otherwise I won't know what's going on. If you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I'm new and I'm trying to do well at this. And hit that notification bell as well. And I also have another channel which is called Becca W, where I kind of upload videos like lifestyle vlogs and like chatty stuff, but not reactions. So if you want something different, head over there as well. But yeah, I'll see you soon for a new video. Bye everyone!